Hello, folks. Welcome back to our channel. And today I'm going to be reviewing another episode of Medium. And today I'm going to be reviewing the 15th episode of the second season called Sweet Child of Mine. Sweet Child of Mine, indeed. The episode was directed by Perry Lang and written by Moira Kurland. And the episode originally aired on February 27th, 2006 on NBC. Wow, what was this episode about? Let's get straight to it without further ado. So basically in this episode, Allison is going to have some visions, some dreams about her unborn son who basically died in childbirth. And he'd be about 15 years old now. And basically she sees her 15-year-old son being living with them living in the house with them, and basically the whole family, and basically it leaves Allison on edge because she feels really heartbroken about it, since on this day is basically the anniversary. It's basically the anniversary of her miscarriage of her son, 15 years ago, basically 15 years earlier. And it leaves her kind of in pretty upset and sad about it. And she cries a lot, and she has her husband by her side trying to cheer her up, and trying to make her realize that it just wasn't supposed to be, and that it's all for the best, because they later on went on and had 3 amazing daughters. But then Allison is actually, as she goes to her coffee shop, she finds out that the owner, named Kristen Morehouse, who was the manager, was basically murdered. And the prime suspect appears to be a 15-year-old boy named Jesse Andrews. And for some reason, Allison keeps the way this Jesse Andrews looks is exactly the same as her son would look in her dreams, right? And so what happens is that she's pretty much she has to basically, she's pretty much resolved about, she doesn't really know what to do about it, but she doesn't really know, how could I explain? She basically decides to help him, despite the evidence that seems to suggest that he might be guilty. But for some reason, she feels this need to basically defend him, right? And she's resolved to doing this to help him. And despite the evidence that accumulates against him, she keeps on trying to basically help him out, right? So it looks pretty strange, and Allison is basically talking about it to her husband, Joe, and he tells her that maybe the stress of the whole thing, of the anniversary, was pretty much like, pretty much a way for her to kind of try and find an outlet in order to let it, in order to work through it. And maybe that this boy, she actually saw him before, and now when she's having the dreams, for some reason, this young boy's face is actually the one she sees her son as, right? If that makes any sense. So yeah, this is basically how this episode goes. And well, there are also a few other things. But basically, Dr. Andrews is Jesse's mother, and she goes in there to the district attorney's office, and they decide to help in the beginning. But then, as she finds out that it seems that her son is a suspect, she basically doesn't really know what to do. Should she hire an attorney? And there's something about this Dr. Andrews, but I don't want to spoil the episode in any shape or form, so I'll leave it blank, I guess. But basically, there also gonna be a few other things, a few secrets, especially when it comes to Christine, who was the manager of the coffee shop. A lot of secrets are gonna be uncovered, and they're gonna find out that there's some, yeah, something is gonna involve drugs and other things too. But I don't want to spoil the episode too much. Meanwhile, Bridget, who happens to be basically Allison and Joe's middle daughter, she basically found a dog and she decides to keep him. But then Joe decides that he has to do something about it, right? Should he try and find his owner, if he has one, if he even has one, or bring it to the shelter for like the pet shelter, I believe, and try to basically get him a house, but not their house, right? Because he doesn't really want to keep him. But then there's going to be a big discovery near the end about this dog, and I'll let you find out for yourselves what it was about. So what was this episode like? Did I like it? Yeah, I thought this episode was pretty awesome, to be honest with you. I really enjoyed it. It was pretty great. So let me get to the actors and then let you know about the rating I'd give this episode. So basically we have Noel Fisher, who was in Final Destination 2, who plays Jesse Andrews. Noel Fisher is a pretty great actor. Really enjoyed his performance in there. Gina Hecht as Dr. Andrews, pretty great actress. Tina Didi Joseph as Linda Novi. Adam Kurlbush as Dr. Kelsch. David Hayden Jones as Mr. Morehouse. Suzanne Davis as Christine Morehouse. Jeff Sugarman as lawyer. John Carlo Alvarez as worker 1. Adam Shapiro as worker 2. Gay Jordo Lindsay as reporter. Madison Carabillo as Marie. And Calvin Harrison as the homicide detective. Yeah, all these actors are pretty great. They did a pretty awesome job, but my favorites were definitely Noel Fisher, number 1, and then Gina Hecht as number 2. Especially Noel Fisher, who's basically, he's the actor that plays Allison's son, in a way, the son she would have had she had him all these years ago. But Noel Fisher is a pretty great actor. I really loved how he played the character in this episode. But yeah, this episode was pretty good. A lot of secrets are going to be uncovered. And there's kind of a little bit of mystery near the end as to what Allison does at the end. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'll let you find out for yourselves. But it's not exactly shown on screen what she was going to do about whatever it was that she was confronted by. But I'll let you find out for yourselves, right? Yeah, this episode was pretty great. So if I were to give this episode a rating, I think I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 seems to do it. Yeah, really great actors, really great characters, good story. Definitely, it'll keep you engaged and invested throughout the whole episode up to the end. But yeah, this episode, Sweet Child of Mine, love the title too, by the way, was pretty good. And definitely a must for anyone who likes the show and maybe got that far in. But yeah, really enjoyed reviewing it. So that's pretty much it for this episode. It's pretty good to see Allison trying to basically at some point even maybe covering up for murder. But since she's a mother, you kind of get the whole like, you understand why she's doing the things that she's doing. It's pretty much about motherly love in this episode, the main concept, and that was pretty good in my opinion, to have Allison trying to stand up for this kid and really it gives a new meaning to the word being a parent, like parent, right? That was pretty awesome, and the title kind of suggests it all, kind of tells for itself, speaks for itself, Sweet Child of Mine. So that's basically it for this episode. Really great to see Allison like that, and this mother kind of affectionate person. Yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next review for another episode review. And in the meantime, let me know about it. Let me know about it in the comment section down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? And I really would love to hear about it. So for me, it would be 8 out of 10. But let me know about your thoughts on this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next review for another episode. In the meantime, folks, stay safe. Goodbye. Take care. This whole channel for you signing off.